Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. This is a prayer, friends. This song, this meditation holds instructions, holds pleas on how to find harmony with the existence we each are experiencing right now. The image for me of having silence, the absence of sound, creating a harmony with the universe around me is so beautiful. I don't know about you, but silence is something in my life I kind of have to plan for these days. Every morning I write in my journal, and afterwards I meditate. But I was told by my meditation instructor not to talk about meditation with other people. It robs it of some of its important and individual meaning and could veer a person towards spiritual pride a little bit, maybe bragging about their meditation. So the teacher said it's best to stay silent about our meditation practice, except with our teacher. Oh, and all these deep, powerful ideas about silence or keeping silent, of accessing some spiritual power with my silence is really attractive stuff. Some of the great sages, the great souls of the centuries were meditators. They held silence and let the silence carry them, like our song says. And that is part of why our worship team selected silence as this month's spiritual theme. There are likely other reasons too, like maybe they were hoping I'd take a month and just hush up a little bit. I do have a tendency to go on and on about some of the things up here. And Dennis Grau, our music director, helped select Find a Stillness as our song of the month to remember this. And it will be good to reflect this month on these words and thoughts. And in the second verse, we have these words: let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. How true these words are today, friends. Yesterday began Hawaii's annual Lei Day celebration. Traditionally, Lei Day is spent making the traditional lei for each of the islands. And then on May 2nd, today, the day after that first day, those lei would be given. In some cases, on May 2nd, actually, the lei would be judged in lei-making competitions. That's right. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. When I first moved here, I would wear lei around my neck, like a necklace. But friends taught me that lei are to be worn on the shoulders and not draped on the nape of the neck. So now I do my best to keep it around my shoulders. Some tell us that the lei holds mana and keeps that mana, roughly translated as spirit, with the person, around the person, when it is on the person who received the lei. Others say it is an expression of aloha, a silent expression, resting gently on our shoulders, embracing us in the warmth of love and care, and even sometimes in honor. In many ways, lei express with their silent presence some of the great spiritual gifts of these lands, and respecting that tradition is part of what Lei Day is for. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. And so it's only fitting that this day we begin officially the annual stewardship campaign. Your stewardship team enjoyed being in touch with many of you throughout this trying year, and for the next few weeks you will be asked to consider what a pledge of support for our community will look like for you. Every year there are questions about the stewardship campaign. The most common question is, how do I pledge? And the answer to that is very simple: a lot. But the other answer is that you can email. Just to be very, direct, you can email the trusted and wonderful caregiver for all of our sensitive information around pledging, Carla Allison, this year. You can email her with your pledge amount. If you need her email address, it's right here. But I'm going to ask you not to do that right now. I hope you will continue listening before you do. Carla has the sacred duty this year of recording confidentially your pledge amounts and making sure you receive regular updates of your pledge and all necessary tax forms for filing. You can also call any of the members of the stewardship team whose numbers are on the annual stewardship letter that was sent to everyone by email, if you're an email subscriber. It's currently on the website. was sent out with the weekly bulletin and will also be sent by mail to all of those who would like one. So you can also talk about your pledge with any of them, and you can attend one or both of the sessions with our amazing treasurer, Mike Model, a treasurer himself, I might add, about any questions you have on the budget and your pledge. See, we're talking about money, friends. And it's good to talk about money. It's actually healing, because many of us are taught what about talking about money? We're taught silence. Oh, it's rude to talk about money. Don't be impolite. Money is a private matter. These messages about money many of us receive are not totally off base when we're talking about proper discussions over dinner, perhaps, but the silence around money, the barriers that seem to come up this time of year for some between knowing that they want to give and then actually giving, those barriers are real. And some of us will give even before seeing a copy of the budget. I love that people do that. I love it. But they'll do this without knowing what we're really trying to accomplish in the coming year. The pledge you plan is already figured out before knowing what is being asked. And I think both of these, knowing we should pledge and not doing it, or picking an amount before we really look at the budget, have something to do with conflict. Maybe the discomfort about talking about money is simply solved this way. That's fine. Maybe old grudges against the church stop the intention from being fulfilled. Maybe there are one or two aspects of the church someone would like to see different, but I know that some of us are conflicted. I know in some ways I am myself. See, 2 weeks ago, a member said I gave a barnstormer of a sermon on the parable of the wealthy young man and how an island currently investigates property crime. Not everyone liked the sermon, friends, to be honest. Some felt I did not give enough attention to the police officers in that sermon and their safety. Now, the sermon speaks for itself. It's online. I can send you a manuscript, so I don't need to get into what I did and didn't say. And I thought about that sermon a lot this week. But I thought about it the most after a trip to Safeway, as I came in my front door and someone was leaving the back door. Someone I didn't recognize or invite into my house. He was actually pretty polite. He closed the door behind him on his way out. I was shocked, friends. I was horrified and I was scared. And I experienced a moment when I had to decide what kind of person I am. Would I sit on the couch or check what was missing, glad that the intruder was just gone? Or would I give chase, making sure I got my belongings back? Well, the surveillance cameras along the street where I live will show what I chose to do, and I hope they do not have any audio capabilities. Because this kid in skinny jeans carrying some extra weight was not going to outrun me. I yelled, "Hey, you better drop it, I'm gonna catch you." He looked back, saw me gaining easily on him, and dropped what he had in the street. He actually stopped running after that, which indicated to me that he didn't have any more of my belongings. And then I had a moment. I remembered my own damn sermon and how I felt about property crimes. I didn't know what else might have been taken from my apartment because I didn't look. I have a house guest right now. I'd had his belongings to worry about. And then there was the chance that this might happen again to others, this kind of invasion and awful feeling, and I did it, friends. I called the police. And the police arrived, and they were helpful and professional and kind and capable, which wasn't actually surprising. One actually quickly found my friend's bag that contained thousands of dollars of valuable equipment in it right outside. Seems like maybe the intruder was planning to make 2 trips with these bags. And another officer kept me calm and helped me with my statement, and another literally dusted for prints. They were supportive and understanding of both me and my friend. And so part of me is left with a conflict. The privilege I have to phone the police knowing that my own personal safety will not be in jeopardy is powerful. The concern for a guest in my home who travels with more valuable things than I have in my entire home was part of the question. And the concern for this young man, likely experiencing some kind of desperation, who might have an interaction with policing that will lead to many troubles for him. Conflict over money, conflict over property, conflict over my actions. I get it. Conflict, friends, is real in our lives. And so I want to speak directly now to people who are conflicted about supporting or giving to the church, or who give before evaluating what the church might actually need in the coming year. And I want to say to you, I get it. And I'm not actually here to convince you of anything at all. I know that old grudges, past ways of being, maybe even current ways of behaving, might cause conflict. And those conflicts are happening in one of the only places that understands, that holds, that values the ways that life does not have simple, does not have complete, does not have easy answers all the time. In fact, it rarely does. In a Unitarian Universalist community, the responsible search for truth and meaning calls us to more than the righteousness of the position most politically or socially conscious. A liberal, free faith calls us to examine even more deeply the conflicts in a society aching for equity and liberation, as much as it calls us to examine even more deeply the conflicts in our own mind, in our own ways of thinking. I know it calls me into examining who to call and when in the moment it was happening. And I am so, so grateful for the conscious awareness of a life devoted to this kind of learning here, friends. I'm grateful for a place like this that provides this and offers love and aloha amidst my conflicts, who does not try to shy away from the really hard questions of life. That is one of the main reasons I give, friends. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I know what the budget is already. And I'll be given 5% of my gross combined salary and housing again back to the church. After taxes, it's actually about 10% of what I make. And one of the only people in this room whose salary is public knowledge, and any member who cares to know can know it, I'm just telling it like it is. Because I'm blessed to do this. The richness of my life today compared to what it once was, friends, the beauty of my life today compared to the ugliness I have seen in the world that I have known, the peace of my life today compared to the chaos. I owe my faith, I owe my spiritual journey, I owe my church, this church. That's who I owe it to. Yeah, these are exciting things I know. There are exciting things I know that must be funded. We have a plan coming together for religious education in the coming years. We also have a plan to be re-entering this space and to do worship in ways that meet all of the needs of all people wherever they are. These are going to be the two biggest expenses that are sort of new in the upcoming budget. And I know you think that the budget is made up of lines across the page, friends, but it's really not. It's something else entirely. The Ilima flower is the official flower of the island of Oahu. On Lei Day, on Oahu, it is the Ilima lei that is traditionally made. The Ilima is bright yellow, and its radiance blankets the space between the pathways to the beach at Makapu'u, where I love to body surf with my friends. They are so beautiful to see, but their long, slender stems make it very difficult to create lei. Among the official flowers of each of the islands, many say that making the lei from Ilima is the most challenging and takes the most skill. The lines of the Ilima entwine with one another in a gentle yet powerful way, strand by strand, to rest at last on the shoulders of the recipient in silence. The Ilima lei speaks for itself. It says love. It says honor. It says peace. It says aloha, all in silence. The strands represented by each one of us. Each one of the lives we live, The lives that offer the chance of generosity, of bounty, are woven together with the strands, the sources, the needs, the hopes in this budget. These strands, these stems, these flowers mingle and bind in fragile yet powerful ways to encircle each one of us, to share the mana that goes into its weaving so it can sit in silence again while speaking love, while speaking honor, while speaking peace, while speaking aloha right here on our shoulders. As I was chasing the young man down the street, I was trying to see what he was carrying, if he had anything else on him from the apartment. I picked up the bag he dropped, but I didn't open it then to see what was in it or was not in it until I got back to my apartment. When I opened the bag, I saw that there were only a few things in it. A folder, my checkbook, a flashlight, breath mints, running shorts, and this, my stole. It feels strange to put it on again after someone nearly took it. But then again, it makes good sense. See, whenever I put this on, I take on the weight of the world. That is what a stole represents. But in many ways, every day, we each take on all that the world holds and try to see the world from that perspective. And that perspective, more and more, as we seek to learn more deeply and grow more fully every day into who we are meant to be, is a blessing, friends. It is a blessing of intertwined, interwoven ways of caring and providing, like in the lei we wear on our shoulders. It is a blessing of knowing the world and its weight as we seek to heal that hurting world from under the weight of a world on our shoulders. And it is a blessing to share that which we have today, to entwine our gifts with the needs of the generations to come, so that those generations who seek justice, who want to know the freedom of a faith that calls them to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, a faith that welcomes them home in this place as the blessing that they are, the sacred blessing they are, so that those generations might stand or be carried, observing the world around them and the generations to come after them. They sing again and again to us with voices yet intoned, with hearts yet filled with love, "Let me flower, help me flower. Watch me flower, carry me." Listen to them, friends. Imagine them happily riding here, seeing all the world being carried along securely, lovingly, joyfully, like a lei of very life, being carried right here on our shoulders. That is the work we are doing, friends. May it ever be so. Blessed be, and amen.